Dear children, welcome to the fourth session of 8th class, 5th unit, Education and Career. In this lesson, we are going to see the future prospects of Hafiz the contractor. So, Hafiz the contractor, he was exploring various means of settling down in his life. So, because he had completed his intermediate second year, and then he is further going to focus on his career. So for that he is trying to explore various ways of settling down in life, and as the first chance, since he got only 50% in his intermediate, and moreover he did not have any interest in the studies, he wanted to drop his study and then wanted to join in army. But his aunt told the call letter. At this point we have already seen, so we are just having a recap of it. And then second option that he tried was, he wanted to join the police force, but his mother said no. His mother said not to join the police force. She encouraged him to join Jai Hind College for his degree. And then after joining the Jai Hind College, he took first German. He had to opt for either German or French as one of the optional subjects of language. So he opted for German. But then when his German teacher died, he opted for the French. So he did not know French well. That's why he was regularly going for a tuition. To his cousin, who was an architect's wife. So he was going to actually the architect's office for his tuition. So at that time he saw one drawing on the table of the architect. There in the drawing there was a huge building, a construction, and window was drawn, but he has noticed that it could not be opened because there was a mistake in the drawing. Later, after constructing this building, when they tried to open, they could not open it. So that's how his cousin has recognized his innate talent to become an architect, and then urged him to join in the college for architecture. So he spoke to the college principal, and then with his encouragement he took up the entrance examination, and from there on he never looked back. So these were the few things that we have seen already earlier. And then we have already seen that he has got certain innate abilities for becoming an architect. We know that when his cousin's husband asked him to draw different sketches, he was able to draw different sketches. And then we have also seen that he remembers not point wise, but he remembers everything as a photograph, entire page that he read as a photograph. And apart from that, we know he was interested in sports. So his career in sports, himself play as a sportsman, had a lot of contribution towards his profession. That's all these things we have seen earlier. Now here we are going to continue the lesson from what we have dropped in the previous session. So now let's look at this paragraph. I had a friend called Behram Divecha. We used to have competitions between us for designing forts, guns, ammunition. Each of us would design something in an effort to be different. So his friend Behram Divecha and then the Hafiz the contractor, both of them were trying to design different forms of sketches. So for example, we see the cannon. So it is drawn differently. it is designed differently. And on the other hand, we see another cannon. It is entirely different. Here the wheels were bigger and there are spokes to the wheels, and here we see very small wheels for the cannon. So a different design. Similarly, they used to design the guns. Okay, different types of guns and so on. And then they also designed different types of forts. See here, there is one different. There is one fort here, and there is also another fort on this side. So both of them were designed well, but this is entirely different from the other. So they were always they had the intention they had intention of being totally different from the other person's design. And then they must have been seeing conventionally many things, many designs of the forts, but when they designed it, they designed absolutely and entirely a new thing and not the same thing as before. This is how they began to design something new, something creative. So this is how they used to have competitions. In school, when I was in the second or third standard, one of my teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw my sketches and told me, "See, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you will become an architect." I did not know at the time, but she was right. Later, after I became an architect, I went back to see her and told her. So here what we see is, when he was very young, his talent for his natural ability to become an architect was recognized by his teacher. See, when we are young, we too must have drawn number of drawings which will enable us to understand the sketches, our early indications of becoming a great architect. See here, we look at the flair for something. When we have flair for something, means having a natural ability for something. We call it as flair. So you can see the word FLAIR. Flair means having a natural ability for something. So here we see a small boy drawing the figure of God. So in one of my earlier experiences, what I have seen is, one boy told me that he would draw the picture of God, and then after that, just in about 2 or 3 seconds, he told he has completed drawing the figure of God. Then I asked him, "How come you completed so quickly?" Then I was very eager to see what he has drawn. He simply drew like this. Well, as you see in the first picture, he just simply drew an arch like, and then he has drawn 3 long lines. So by looking at this, we understand that he has drawn Shivalinga. So simple. And then later, you see certain figures which resemble an aeroplane are drawn here. So these are the initial indications that one can become a good artist or one can become a good architect. So now we'll move on to the next question. Why do you think you did not like studies? Was it because you felt you could not cope, could not deal with the curriculum? So here we have seen that even after his intermediate second year, he wanted to simply drop the studies because he was not good at studies, and then take up a job, like either joining in the police force or in the military as in the army. And why do we think that he has come up with such a solution? Because he did not like studies. That's why the editor of Sparsh newspaper is asking him the question, why do you think you did not like studies? What is the reason behind you are not liking the studies? Then he says, I was very bad at languages. Science and geography I could not deal with. Maths was very bad. I just was not interested. I was studying for the sake of studying. What they taught me today, I would forget after 2 days. I would not bother because there was no application of mind there to begin with. So, here what we understand is he really did not do well in his academics. He was very poor in the languages, he could not do well in the languages, and science and geography was very difficult subjects. Both are, they could do maybe a little well, but he could not do well, very well. And maths, he performed very poorly in the mathematics in the mathematics classes. So he could not do it because he did not have interest in these subjects. I was studying, so he says that he was studying only for the sake of studying, only to complete his academic year, only to complete his year and then just to pass on to the next class. He was doing just because he wanted a certificate, and beyond that he has not seen any greater value for his education. And then what he says is, whatever he has studied, he used to forget immediately after 1 or 2 days, because he could not remember anything, because there is no application, because he could not understand everything in a logical sequence. That's why he used to forget everything very quickly. Now there we see one more thing. Did you think that what they taught in school was boring, or did you feel that once you understood the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? So they asked him another question, because the editor of this newspaper, Bela Raja, she is working for the Sparsh newspaper, which is the newsletter from the school, the Valley School, Bangalore. So she thought that his experience in education would probably help their children in acquiring the knowledge. It will be useful for them in order to motivate their school children also. That's why she has put up this question, whether he did not have interest in the beginning, or once they start teaching, why he lost interest in that particular lesson. So for that, what he says is, living in a boarding school is difficult. We were just living from day to day. Nowadays there are so many tests. Back then, whenever we had tests, we used to just copy. The teacher taught that we had done our work. So what we understand here is, nowadays, there are many corporate schools, so they teach in even the minute detail, and then very often they take examinations. They have got weekend examinations, and every week they have got 2 or 3 examinations, and again slip tests by the subject teachers. We have got number of such things. But at the time, they did not have so many tests. They had very, very few tests, and then what these people did was, they just simply passed on their time in the school. And then once a while, maybe when there are unit tests, or maybe when there are formative assessments, or when they had the summative assessments, they used to just copy. And then even the teachers used to have the same thing. So they used to think that they had completed their work, they had completed their duty, and beyond that, he did not attribute any greater value for the studies. That's how they dragged on. Now, what happened later? Now, Miss Bela Raja is putting another question. There is a contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? So here we need to understand this question, that is, learning disabilities. The people who cannot really perform well in their academics, what happens is, they are very good at their particular profession. They are really very gifted. Gifted in the sense, gifted, the word gifted means, here we see the word gifted. That means they are very, very talented in their area of profession. So, do you think that this applies to you? Because the people who are very extremely genius people, extremely clever people, they do not have good performance in their academics. So, for that we see Hafil the contractor is giving this following answer. Well, take some students from my class. Those who always stood first or second are today doing very ordinary jobs. So that's what we can see from our experience, from many schools and colleges profiles, many people's profile. What we see is that the people who are first and second, who get first and second in the class, they do very ordinary jobs. Maybe they end up as clerks, or they end up maybe as maybe ordinary engineers and so on. But here he is getting. But here today, Hafiz the contractor has become an excellent in his profession. He has constructed, or he has designed and constructed many beautiful buildings, many great buildings in India as well as in the abroad. So that's what he says. The people who stand first and second in the class, they are all doing very ordinary jobs. So being giftedness is entirely different from performing something in the academics, performing something in the examination or in the school. That's what they say. So here we see two great people here. One is, first one I think you can identify. The first one is Thomas Alva Edison, and second one is, so in the first one what we see here is that these two people, okay, either Albert Einstein or the Thomas Alva Edison, these two people, they just simply they were the dropouts from their academics. They stopped their education, but in their profession they have really an excellent performance. So he had invented number of things. Thomas Alva Edison has invented number of things, and then similarly Albert Einstein, we see him, he too has invented number of things. But in their academics, they were very poor performers like that of Hafiz the contractor. That's what we see here. And then I have come across this situation in so many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinarily. In school, I think living our lives, they made us street smarts. I have learned more by doing what I did on my own than what academics would have taught me. So here what we understand is he considers himself as a street smart. But what is the meaning of street smart? See, there are some people who consider themselves as the classroom smarts, and here he considers himself to be a street smart. And what is a street smart? Street smart, he learns only by doing whatever he wishes to do, not just in the academics alone. The classroom smarts will do well in their classrooms, but whereas the street smarts do well in their regular day-to-day life, in their activities which they are interested in. That is what we understand by street smarts. For example, here we see the classroom smarts. This is called conventional learning. See here, in the beginning of this lesson, we see that Hafiz stumbled on architecture because he knew little French and less German. So he did not know German and French. This shows that he was not good at academics. He was not able to have a good performance in the academics. He was offbeat even in the pranks that he played. What is the meaning of offbeat? It means that he was learning unconventionally. Unconventionally means not, there are two types of learning. One is conventional learning and another one is unconventional learning. Even from unconventional learning, he has learned a lot. When he found his calling, there was no looking back. Now we are going to see that offbeat learning. What is offbeat learning? It is conventional learning and unconventional learning. So what we see here is, being a classroom smart, or a person who is a classroom smart, is the one who is learning through the conventional mode of learning. What is the conventional mode of learning? You see here, so conventional mode of learning is being punctual to school. He comes to school very regularly, exactly on time, and then he listens to the classes well. He is able to recall what he learns in the class. Every point he is able to learn. And the next one is he does homework regularly, very regular he does the homework, and then he gets very good marks even in all the examinations. So this is what being a classroom smart. Being a classroom smart means that implies all these things. In being a classroom smart, as we have seen in the former paragraph, in the former slides, that being a classroom smart, they don't do very highly excellent jobs, they do very ordinary jobs. And whereas he describes himself as, being a street smart, it is an unconventional way of learning. So similarly we have seen Albert Einstein and Thomas Alva Edison, and these two people are the dropouts from the school, but they had an excellent knowledge and excellent skills. They have got they have got wisdom to continue their own experiments. So these people have really become great in the history because they were learning from what they have been doing, what we call them as experiments. So what is this being conventional and unconventional, being an unconventional learning, being a street smart? So a street smart like that of Hafiz the contractor, what they do is Hafiz the contractor has learned from sports, from day-to-day sports. He was always interested in the games. So I have already showed you in the previous slides. You may refer to my previous slides. I have already told you they understand how a basket looks from the straight angle and how it looks from a corner side, and then how it looks from the top and how it looks from the bottom. So they have got a good view, and while playing the game, they sufficiently understand the design of that particular basket. So this is what we understand. And next one is learning from being a gangster, and we know that he was maintaining the gangs and he was planning the strategies and so on. And then where does the knowledge of this knowledge of being or having or planning the strategies come from? And leadership qualities. See, if one has to become a leader, we cannot teach, we don't have, even in the academics, we don't have proper steps to teach. But here, he used to maintain the gangs, and while maintaining the gangs itself, he was teaching them, and he was learning, he was learning to be a leader. So that's how he has become, that's how he has cultivated the leadership qualities. Next one is planning strategies. So he was planning strategies, he was able to plan strategies, he was able to build the techniques, and that too he has learned from being a gangster. So, and he has learned from being a sportsman, he has learned from being a gangster. And then we also know that he was the sports captain for his high school, and many times he has won the matches for his school. And here we understand that being a captain of the team, he has sufficient gained the knowledge of the leadership. So that's why he was able to become a good leader. He was able to cultivate good leadership qualities. And learning from rough sketches. So we have seen that he had a flame, and his teacher, Mrs. Gupta, identified his talent to become a great he would become a great, he could become a great architect because his sketches are good. That's why he said, you are useless in everything, but your sketches are good. In future you may become a great architect, she said. Okay, and then that's what we see here. So from being a good player, how something looks from the straight angle, from the bottom angle, and so on. So now let us see a few of the abilities that made him a great architect. One is, we know that he had flail for drawing images. What is the meaning of flail for drawing images? He had a flair for drawing images in the sense, right from the beginning, right from the day he was in the third class, he was able to do drawings very neatly. He was able to present his drawings well, and that's what even his teachers recognized in him. And the next thing is being a street smart, and we have seen that he was a street smart. Street smart in the sense he was not trained by the academics properly, but he was trained by the other things, by being a gangster, by being a captain of the school sports team, and by being a good player and so on. And then being trained in sports, even he being trained in schools, indirectly it has contributed a lot for him to become an architect. Okay, and later we see that his leadership qualities, he has been well, his leadership qualities, he has got great leadership qualities, and all this contributed for him to become an architect. So how he has become all this? Because he has become such a great, because all these things, such as these things which he has been trained not in the academics, other than his academics, have contributed a lot for him. So children, with this we are going to end the fourth session in this, and then I hope you are doing well. Please read through the lesson again and try to understand each and everything. Every word has its meaning, so try to do it well. And then thank you children, bye, and have a nice day. Thank you.